Yo, what's poppin', guys? You got your boy Nandra here. Welcome to another video. So for this video, I'm playing some Jormungand. So don't mind my quiet voice. It's just that I just woke up, and two, my brother has some friends over. Anyway, so this is another, I guess, like probably series I'm probably not gonna get around to like finishing, but like I know recently a lot of people have been memeing about Blood. Oh, Blood's in a bad spot. Blood's not a good class. All this, that, and the third. To be honest with you, Blood I think is still fine as a class. One of the issues with Blood is that like it's not really so much with Blood so much as is with the community. Is that like a lot of times people won't play good decks if they feel that the deck has no flash, no pizzazz, no, you know, bright sparkly lights or whatever. That's like, oh, play me. This is how a lot of really good decks kind of go under the radar for so long, just because again, people won't play them at like unless like some kind of like pre-packaged, oh, you should go ahead and play this. Like for example, it's part of why it took people initially so long to figure out like how good Roach was. And it's also part of why it took people so long to figure out how good PDK was, just because like these weren't like pre-packaged archetypes. But generally, I tend to find that like, oh, if something's not like pre-packaged and the community has to figure out how to make it, that usually tends to be pretty powerful. And this is no exception here. So I'll go ahead and I'll talk about the deck list, and I'll even go ahead and show you guys, I believe, 4 games. So, well, 3 games, I lied. So let's go ahead and go into the deck. Alright, so there's a lot of things to talk about. Now I'll just go ahead and get started. 2 Executioner Axe. So Executioner Axe is one of those cards I actually really like. I actually used to play a lot of this card too back in like say ROB into like early Tempest. I haven't played it as much since then, but it's still really great. As you may know, I'm one of those people that like I really like my evolves, and I usually want to try to like cheat as many of them as I can, just because I tend to find that like the better decks in the game are usually decks that can usually cheat the whole, oh, well, what do I do when I have no evolves? And this card just helps with that. This card also lets you do something that's really nice that I don't think I've seen people like mention at all. It actually helps you avoid the situation, which I'll talk about when I actually get to the Jormungand and then act. But 3 Spider Whip, you know, it's a ward. It's a 1/4. It helps versus aggro. Yes, there are in fact people who do play aggro, and this current format also helps when you're like getting like beaten down early to help you try to like stabilize a foothold into the game. It also triggers your Jormungand as well, which is kind of nice. And late game 1/4 ward is kind of annoying. 3 Baphomet. Baphomet's just, you know, is your searcher. Blood doesn't really have that many like great T-drops, but this one helps because again, it can tutor your Baphomet, it can tutor your Nact, it can tutor pretty much whatever you want. 3 Demonogram. So Demonogram, it's kind of cool. Like I just have it in here just because like when you do get the effect off, it feels pretty nice. Just because if you can like trigger the effect like 4 times in a row or something silly like that, you basically just like take no damage. And that's good because like you do want to take damage in this deck, obviously, but you don't want to take so much damage to your opponent because huff and puff and just like blow you down or whatever. You don't want that to happen to you. It also works as a 2-drop early. They can just, you know, play for tempo, which is important. And yeah. 3 Blood Pact. Blood Pact just, you know, helps you dig through your deck. It also helps trigger your Jormungand, which is important. It can work with your Demonogram. It's also important. It's a great card. 3 Razor Claw. Like this deck, you know, at some point you need to go face. The Razor Claw helps you go face. After you get Jormungand triggers, like Razor Claw becomes like disgusting. Like for example, if you get like 2 Jormungand triggers, Razor Claw becomes 2 mana, deal 5, and then deal 2 damage to the rest of the board. That's gross, just gross. even if you only get 1 Jorm trigger, it becomes 4 mana. It becomes 2 mana, deal 4, and then deal 1 to the rest of the board. Yeah, that's a lot of mana for. That's a lot of inherent value for like a 2 mana spell. 3 Sterling Chains. Again, it triggers Jormungand. You can use it as removal. You want to try to use the Sterling Chains as removal early before you use the Razor Claw, just because like Razor Claw, you want that to be hitting face, and you want to save it for Jormungand. keep your Heartslinger. Like, one of the issues with this deck is that, like, you need to find card drops, is that you need to find certain cards as quickly as possible. Like, for example, you need to find your Jormungand, you need to find your Knack, you need to find your Zodiac Demon if you weren't able to find these early. The Pure Heartslinger just helps you draw to that. Like, it also works really nice because, like, because this deck uses a lot of pings, the Pure Heartslinger kind of scales up in value. Because sometimes she gets ignored, and they can just kind of do things with her, and it feels great. Fang Serpent. So Fang Serpent is a card that they may have noticed is in like a lot of my blood decks, and it pretty much has been in a lot of my blood decks since when it was cracking out. Starforge, yeah. Just because I like the card a lot. Like, the card is basically a 3 mana heal 4. Like, that's insane. It's a heal 2 because your opponent has to deal with it being on the board because it has ward. It can also kind of fight back because it's an offensively stacked ward. And then lastly, the last word has heal 2, and that's great. Just because, like, you will be taking a lot of damage as Jormungand in order to both, like, set up your Jormungand as well as both activate your Jormungand, and it's very, very nice. It's very, very helpful for you if you have, like, some form of healing, just so this way, again, your opponent doesn't just, like, huff and puff and just, like, blow you down. 3 Terror Demon. So this one is a really, really big one. I actually like Terror Demon a lot. I believe I was messing around with Jorm pre-expansion, and I didn't use... what's it called? I didn't use Righteous Double, but this guy is a lot better than Righteous Double. The big issue with Righteous Double is that if you're not in Vengeance, that card feels awful. Hell, even if you are in Vengeance, that card still feels awful because you still need an evolve with the card. This card does not really need an evolve per se. It also scales to the evolves as well. Just because, like, 4 mana 4/4 that can become a 6/6 that heals you for 6. That's insane. Or sorry, I mean, it starts off at 2. It starts off as a 2/4, but as your ally followers evolve, and that'll usually be the case. This guy will just be scaling up in the hand. You'll be taking a little bit more extra damage in the process, but that's fine. Like, this guy, he comes out, he just tops you up. You just go back to full. You usually want to use him as your last evolve, or you can just kind of, hold him in your hand, and you can use it with the Executioner's Axe, because again, like I said, Executioner's Axe, it works as 2 additional evolves. 3 Scarlet Saber. Scarlet Saber is really nice. Like, it's still a great card on 5. It still helps you get like a +3. This is really, really important, just because you want to have the board as clear as possible on 5 in order to herald in your Jormungand on 6. And this card helps you do that. It also helps heal you off, and it's also very, very good versus Dragon just because it has Bane. That's important. 3 Nact. Right, so with Nact, I actually like Nact a lot. I don't think you need to play 3 of though, just because, like, I just like it because, like, it does mean that like in the late game, if you suddenly don't have Jormungand triggers, this girl is just gonna be like a permanent Jormungand trigger for you, and that's nice. On your turn, if you have Jormungand active and her active, she'll deal 2 damage to you, she'll deal 1 damage to you, causing Jormungand to trigger, deal another damage to your opponent, and then on their turn, they'll take 1 damage because of her effect. So you deal 3 damage at the end of each, like, round of turns. So that's at the end of, like, each of your and your opponent turns. So, like, they'll take a combined total of 3 damage. That 3 damage scales up a lot because I find that, like, after you hit your Jormungand trigger, 1 or 2 things happens. You either just, like, burn your opponent out all at once, or you just kind of, like, play the stall game and just, like, kind of, like, wait for Nact and Jormungand to do their work and just kind of erode your opponent's, like, health total. Very, very great card. Like her a lot. The World Serpent himself, Jormungand. Alright, so this card is really, really cool. I definitely knew at some point I was gonna, like, want to play with this card just because, like, I really like Norse mythology, so having the World Serpent be in this game was really, really cool to me. This card's great. I don't know what more to say about this card. Like, this card, it enables you to do a lot of things. Like, for example, I remember, like, a few months ago, like, I had my boy says something. I had him literally kill my Bahamut, deal 8 damage in the process to me, and that was all because of a Jormungand proc. Like, that was ridiculous. Like, each deck you get becomes more and more, like, devastating for your opponent. Like, so far, like, my match record is, I believe, 2 stacks. But, like, I've seen people with 3 stacks. Like, when you get 3 stacks, the 3 stack feels, like, ridiculous. Because, like, it means that 3 Razor Claws deal 18 damage. That is dumb. Yeah, it deals, like, the 3 Razor Claws deal 6 damage a piece, and they deal 3 damage to the entire board. Like, it helps you as you burn face, basically. Just this way, you can burn their face, and you can also clear their board to allow you to keep burning face, or allow the creatures they have like left at the end to just kind of get in for the like last bit of damage. The other thing I like about Jormungand is that Jormungand is a 5/5. That makes it so like if he evolves, you can't afford to just leave him in play. You have to kill him. You either have to kill him or you have to banish him. But this actually where this actually brings up a point I want to talk about with the Executioner's Act. So versus some classes like say Haven as well as say Portalcraft, a lot of them they're gonna want to ban those two primarily, but obviously that everyone now has access to a polymorph in that Fall from Grace. A lot of people, if they are playing that, they're obviously gonna, if they know that you're playing Jormungand and they like respect that, they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna try to save it for both Jormungand and Noct. But that's where the Executioner's Acts come in, because like what I like doing is that like I'll evolve everything else in my deck, and just like wait for my opponent to evolve over me, and then when I have mana floating, I can go ahead and go play Noct or play Jormungand, and then go ahead and play Executioner's Act. So obviously that'll either be a turn 6 or sorry, that'll either be a 6 mana or 7 mana play, and then I can go ahead and suicide the creature, just because like they won't be able to stop it because as long as the creature has at least like 4 attack or whatever, or 5 attack in the case of Jormungand, like my creature will die in the trade, their creature will die, and that automatically you have to cheat into play my effect. Being able to cheat into play this effect is very, very powerful, and it's what you want to be doing, just because like you want to give your opponent as little counterplay as possible, even if it means that it takes you slightly longer to achieve the effect, just because like when you achieve the effect and you play well enough after the fact, you probably win that game. Just hands on, you probably win that game. And one of my Consummate games will of course be showing this as well. 2 Zodiac Demon. So the Zodiac Demon, again, it follows the same trend of you want to cheat in your Jormungand as well as your Noct into play, just because like when you do that, you probably win the game. The upside with Zodiac Demon is that Zodiac Demon, with the advent of Noct, has become more useful, just because now you have 5 different possible bullets in order to shoot at people, and that's really cool. 3 Emerald, the Demonic Officer. So this card is a card that a lot of people go like Dan's Game anytime I put it into a deck, but like Emerald is one of those cards that, like, you don't care if you're in Vengeance or not in order to like play this card. Like, this card is ridiculous. It doesn't matter. I cannot stress enough. It doesn't matter if you do and don't get Storm. Like, you're mainly playing it for the fanfare of, oh, you see that big guy in play my opponent, blow it up. Blow it up. You see that annoying amulet, blow it up. Like, and that's very, very powerful. Like, because essentially cost wise, it's essentially a 2 mana 4/5 that just says, oh, have an execution effect on top of you for free. That's ridiculous. It's a lot of role compression all at once. I love the card, and I definitely pretty much will probably play in any blood deck that can until it like rotates or whatever. And even then, after it rotates, if I play rotation or if I play unlimited, I'll probably still play it. But yeah, great card. Yeah, this is the deck. It's fairly expensive to make, sort of, like, because it's like, okay, it's like, it's 7 legendaries, 6 golds, and then a bunch of silvers and bronzes, but like, you can honestly play 2 Jormungand if you want, if you want to like help down on like crafting costs. Just because like you play a lot of cards, right? So you can probably find at least one, and you usually only need to trigger like one in order to win. Just because if you can like trigger that, or you can like trigger Noct, it'll usually help out quite a bit. But aside from that, I don't really know what else you could like reliably like cut in order to like save down on crafting costs if you wanted to play this deck. But the deck is a lot of fun to play, just like the deck plays like 3 different decks at once, sort of. Well, no, not really. It's mainly like 2 or 3 different decks. Yeah. All right. So like it plays like mid range, because early game you do fight for the board, because if you fall behind on board, you can't ever hard cast your Jormungand, you can't ever hard cast your Noct, and you're just like, and they're just like sitting on the, they're just like waiting for the Zodiac plan. But if you're waiting for the Zodiac plan every single game, you're probably going to lose those games. It then plays like combo, because obviously once you do get your Jormungand up, and once you do get your Noct up, whatever. Sorry. once you do get those effects up, you're probably winning those games. And then lastly, it plays like combo because like I'm sorry. It plays like control because like because there are some times where like you only get like one Jormungand effect up or something like that, but you can't find the neck. And you need to try to get a second Jormungand. So you just kind of like control the board until you can find a way to like suicide the second Jormungand if you're worried about like whether or not your opponent's going to like banish it or not. Which to be honest, again, unless you're versus Haven, Forest, or Portalcraft. I would. It's safer to assume that your opponent will not be playing Fall from Grace or some kind of polymorph or some kind of banish. So versus the other 5 classes, I would just like go wild and just like hard cast or whatever. But yeah, like the deck does a lot of damage. It's a lot of fun to play. Well, definitely, like I said, I'll definitely be sharing the concept games. It won't be in this video because this video went a little bit too long. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, again, leave a like on it, subscribe, and if you haven't, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch